Okay, so I'm going to be behind the camera because it should be about them. But, so I will be the disenchanted voice beyond the camera. I've had some viewers ask me about the ladies who sword fight, female martial artists, etc. They never get a proper voice. So now I'm talking over them because that's what men do. I'm Nick, you guys know me. That's Trelena.
Hi.
That's Amanda.
Hi.
Trelena's been a fencer for 12 years, better?
At least 12, yeah.
And Amanda's been a heavy fighter, both,
I started heavy fighting in 97.
97, so a lot. My brain's not mathing right now. 21. Oh, cool. So her sword fighting skills can legally drink. Awesome. But they have to sit and watch the YouTube videos, the same stuff that I watch, and I never see anything about females talking about anything about their experience about it. So I want to make this a regular segment where you two can talk about your experience about it. Do you have like a particular subject you want, or do you want me to just throw Conan style, things? What?
One of the first things that Trelena had talked about was chest protection. Because obviously, the way that we're built is not quite as easy to cover as a guy. And it's going to look, you want to cut the chest protection out a little.
Yeah.
Full range of motion. And a male is going to look at that armor and say, no, you can't do that, it's open. And the problem is when we take a stance, our arm and our weapon will cover that space.
Yeah.
But if you leave the metal there or the heavy plastic, we can't get a full round.
You're gonna cut yourself all up.
Mm-hmm.
It's super uncomfortable. And the thing I hate is when everybody thinks they need like boob sock armor,
No.
where it just points straight at their sternum. Like, no, that's the worst thing you can do. It's just, I want like a bubble around me. Don't point at my heart. That's terrible.
The closest you'd ever want to get to that would be the pigeon breasted.
Yeah.
Anything else, you're looking for flat, really, really good sports bra under a straight or barely beveled.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
a
you're
good
not-
way of putting it. Like a sports bra, just uniform,
Yeah.
single.
You do want something hard if you can do it hard over soft. Bare minimum because the bruising can cause issues.
Yeah.
It can do damage to the tissues that you have.
Yeah, and guys aren't gonna think about that.
Technically, it can do that to guys too.
Yeah, but they want to, a lot of them are like, I'm gonna go shirtless and just
Yeah.
run at my enemy, and don't.
Yeah. No. Armor is your friend. Another issue that I found that female fighters have is leg armor. If you're using
Yes.
knee protection that goes into thigh protection, a woman's thighs naturally curve, and male armorers don't always put that curve in, so that when you go to kneel, you will actually cut the inside of your leg, because when your knee bends, you have a muscle that pops out,
Yeah,
so it'll cut it.
we didn't do that so much in fencing, but just you have to account for your curves, because most guys don't have those curves, so they don't think to account for it. But if you're not armoring for your body type, you're just going to hurt yourself more than you're actually protecting it. And it's terrible to be torn up by your own armor.
Yeah, it cuts into your fighting time because you can't figure out why you can't do the maneuver.
And then you're like, oh, why am I bleeding there? And did I get hit? What happened? And it's your own armor that's beating you up.
Yeah, I lost a couple of pairs of sweatpants to that
Yeah.
because I cut myself out of them with my armor. It's fantastic.
Discs versus plastrons.
Oh.
Because
so
there are a
the
lot of
disc armor
fencers.
versus.
Right, I didn't want to overstep
Oh, no,
when
go
we're
ahead.
talking and
And I had poor Nick is trying to
I
practice
couldn't
with cards, and I'm
read
like,
it, yeah.
my glasses are Coke bottles. I can't read that.
I don't have my
I'm
progress
like, my
report.
contacts are spinning.
I'm trying to let you guys talk during like the ladies' corner thing.
I never
and-
actually had what you would call a plastron.
Right.
The closest I came to chest armor like that was the I had braided leather, and then I had a gambazon under it, or I had heavy leather with pieces of metal riveted in, so it was just the discs.
Okay. But
I've never dealt with the discs, but But it seems like they would cut around if you haven't done them properly. I don't know.
As long as you're not talking about a turtle shell sports bra, if you're talking about just plates in something,
Okay.
they distribute the weight and they distribute the damage.
Gotcha.
The turtle shell sports bras look great until the piece is flying down the field. They can actually be dislodged. They can cut
Oh.
you when they come off too.
Fair enough.
The only reason I mention it was I've seen, you go to the fencing catalogs,
Yeah.
and if I say, ladies, they sell breast protection that's individual breasts, and then they sell, a solid plastron. You guys explain it, people will take it a little more seriously, I think. And part of my whole thing is I don't want ladies getting hurt because that gets them off the field.
Yeah.
My job is to get.
Having started out as a fighter, pretty well flat-chested, and then developing as a fighter and as an adult, I would always go with a solid chest protection, simply because I don't want the damage and I don't want the pinching.
Yeah.
I had badly fitted armor that pinched. Yeah,
That's not good.
no, you don't want that. Blood blisters are not good anywhere, but
Yeah. I would say armor like that, you don't want to be like, well, this is the cheapest thing I can find. Take your time if you're going to make it, or, spend a little bit of extra money and make sure you're actually safe and fighting safely instead of, well, some dude on a street corner told me I could use this tin can and it'll be fine. Also, I think while we're talking about chest protection, we should also talk about the Jill.
yeah.
Because that is, for anybody that doesn't know, that's the female version of a cup. I have never personally used one.
I've built one. I went on a 3-store scavenger hunt because I went for fighting and was told I had to have one at the last moment, didn't know what it was, and had to go try to find one. The ones they sell kind of look like the ones I saw anyways, a reinforced thong-ish thing.
Okay.
Kind of like a T-shape that comes down. It's supposed to cover the groin and the ovaries. I don't see how the ones they sell can work. So we always just did a tee of leather and then camp pad, and you just put it in the front of your pants because it wouldn't move.
Okay.
But you just want to protect the uterus and ovaries because they can actually be popped.
Yeah.
I did know a lady who took a hard shot in karate and lost an ovary. So
The fencers I talked to always discouraged the use of a Jill, and they actually told me that, like so many horror stories, they told us that they had been injured with a Jill far more than not injured with a Jill. Like I said, I've never personally used one, so I don't know how true that is.
well, the style of fighting I did, they were required, and
Yeah.
they would ask you if you were wearing one. If you weren't, you weren't allowed on the field.
Okay.
I've never seen one that had hard. 'Cause
Really?
our structure was hard over soft,
Yeah.
but when you went to buy one commercially, it was just padded. I never saw a hard plastic.
Really? That almost seems like the commercial isn't even up to grade for
Not for what we're
anything.
doing.
It sounds like the Gorget problem.
Yeah.
I mean, not trying to butt in, but
No.
Oh, that's another issue is trying to find one that'll fit.
Yeah.
Right.
Our necks are built differently.
um,
We don't have the traps like a lot of the guy
Mhm.
fighters do. So our gorgets fit differently. We've got different curvatures there. Our shoulders are shaped differently. Sometimes you don't have as much. So you have to adjust that too. It's really hard to find commercial female fighting equipment for a reasonable price that you can find the male equipment at. Because it's all tailored for the guys. And then we get it and we have to like, okay, well I have to add this, or I have to, I have to cut this and resew it or something like that.
There's always some modification that has to happen. Or, I know with the type of fighting I did, if you go to hit somebody and you pull back like, oh, I don't want to land that shot, that was a natural wrap shot.
Yeah.
Which with heavy fighters and the stick fighting, that's advanced for a male because of the way the wrist works.
Mm-hmm.
But it also affects the way your glove sits and the way your elbow cop fits and the way that your shoulder fits. Because if you try to tie your arm together, you're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get your glove.
Yeah. One of the first people that was teaching me, this was before I met you, briefly before I met you. They were trying to teach me a shot, and I couldn't physically do it because my my wrist is built differently. That, like, there's actually a female and a male wrist.
Do you want a hand? Because I have one of each. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's,
what you need to do is hold it up sideways so that they can see it. A male fist or wrist looks like this. It's flat. I don't know if this is on camera worth a dang. It should be.
just,
Now see, what you're seeing is Bambi got trained. The
Yeah.
female wrist, which I have on due to damage on my right hand, is like this. Yeah.
we
I'm
look like a
right-handed.
terrible, motivational, you can do it.
But
I was right-handed, and I was taught first in a live steel group. And I was told that I was taught wrong on purpose.
Mhm.
But I was told I had to hit like this. And it
Mhm.
hurt. Well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to hurt.
No,
No,
it
it
hurts.
shouldn't
hurt.
If you're
Because
injuring
the-
your wrist, yeah. And some trainers don't account for that because their way is the right way, and it's the only way. And if you can't hit like them, then you're wrong, or there's something physically
Well,
wrong with you.
that's the from a trainer standpoint, what I do different than most is I've actually looked at how somebody should train women. What is that awesome book? I've used it. It's the
Iron Rose.
The Iron Rose. I
Yes.
can't remember the author.
Toby Beck.
Toby Beck.
I love that
Toby
book.
Beck did
It's
she did a
beautiful.
fantastic job on it. The edges of the book are actually flip books so that you can see the shots. She took I believe it's her husband, I can't
Yeah.
swear to it, and herself put on a black outfit, took white tape and taped where her
Taped
shoulders
out, yeah.
and her hip, and then you can see they're the same height, but the movement is so different.
Their waists are in different
Yeah.
places, and they'll be throwing a shot at the same time, but the way they're moving, you can see the difference, and it's beautiful. I love that book. I'm so glad you brought it up.
I wasn't sure if we could or not, so I was
Right.
trying really hard not
It's a
to.
product recommendation.
Yeah,
That's
she did a great job. I love that book.
Yes.
But if you're watching, now I don't know so much about the fencing. I didn't do a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing the actual live steel, heavy fighting, what I used to do,
Mm-hmm.
you almost have to start a beginner female fighter from the advanced male stance
right.
because of the way that her hips move. Because there's a catch in a spot where a guy doesn't have it, and we can do a full rotation more. It's really hard to sit down.
Right.
And just,
My stance was always backwards. They would get so mad at me. You can't do that, but this is how it works.
this is how I have to, otherwise I'm gonna be on the floor.
Right. And
Yeah.
And I can hit harder.
Yeah.
If I put the stance where they tell me, oh, you're backwards, when I rotate through, it actually connects.
Because we use our hip to
Yeah.
maximize that, and it's just a natural motion for us to roll that hip like that. I know some of my fencing positions, there's chest in the way.
Yeah.
And, you get with a guy that doesn't have, pecs or anything like that, and they don't think about,
no,
Yeah.
it's because I was a beanpole when I first started fighting, and I developed a male version of a chest, and completely lost my fourth position
Yeah.
because it would catch, and I was dying for the longest time. So I actually am associated with some of my more favorite female fighters, and it was like, oh, wait a second, it's
Yeah. Meanwhile, fourth is one of my favorite positions because I can actually put my elbow on my waist, my natural waist, and, just kind of cock it there. And, the same with second, it's just there, it's on my waist because of the way I'm formed.
I'm glad you mentioned natural waist, because a woman's natural waist is higher than where a man's sits.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So not only are you pulling in on the chest plate, you
You
have to
pull
pull up.
up.
Yes,
You-
yes,
And they're
for
going to
sure.
say, well, your groin is open. It's going to look like it, but you have to have that rotation.
Yeah.
Because they did put me in a guise that was cut
Oh,
so low,
God,
it was
yeah.
on my hips, I couldn't
you
move.
really need
No.
I
like
literally look like a sausage.
a middle.
You need
It
some
needs an articulation
Yes.
in the center that men don't standard need to be able to do what you do.
That's why
Yeah.
you see a lot of female fighters with the chest plate and then they have skirting.
Skirting, yeah.
Because it's the quickest, easiest, most effective way.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see a lot more of the LARP females getting the idea of, because I see beautiful fantasy armor,
Mhm.
but it's dangerous for them. And
Yeah.
And it's funny because they always want to do the Xena armor. And it's like, well,
No,
no.
the poking and the.
Yeah. But if you do a well cut out, well shaped, almost not a doublet, but like a corseted look.
Oh yeah,
It'll look like a corset. It will fit like a good set of armor.
I've
It's gonna
seen
protect you. It's gonna look
gorgeous
good.
things like that, and
Yeah.
you don't have to lose your aesthetic for your safety. You really don't. You can stay safe and look awesome. So you're not trading one for the other. You can do both.
Okay, well, I mean, I know as part of the series, if you guys are up to it, I'd like to take the armoring discussion to the next level and actually, when we work, because both of you need new armor, and I don't know, I don't want to say an amateur armorer, but, I'm sort of an out there armorer. If we could work on it and then show,
Oh yeah.
like, progress and talk about it more for the ladies, because I really want this to enlighten the men, because just because our art is medieval doesn't mean our mindset needs to be.
Oh yeah. And if they're lady friends, girlfriends, daughters, whatever, want to get into it, and you can't figure out why they're uncomfortable,
But
it might be some of these issues.
absolutely.
I mean,
While I have you, and I feel I should ask put the target not on me but on mine a bit. There's not mythos. There's a bias about males in this. This is a very male-dominated thing. And have you guys had trouble with that? How have you dealt with that? And you guys have been in this game a long time from different angles. And while our group is a little different than most, I hope, I mean, if there's issues, you gotta let me know. But I'll bust myself out on TV. That's fine. But stories, issues to help the people, especially who are starting out, who are dealing with like testosterone poisoning, for lack of another. Kind of want to.
My first thought is don't ever feel that you have to hurt yourself to prove to someone you're hitting them. Because there's a thing called rhino hiding. Ego has an infinite armor rating. You can hit somebody with a Mack truck, and if they don't want to take your shot, they're not going to take it.
they'll just swear up and down, I didn't get hit by her. I didn't get hit by her.
Yeah.
It was really light. I barely felt it. But you hit him. He knows you hit him. And he's got to live with that.
All of the bystanders saw it. They heard it.
Yeah.
It's not worth, like I said, hurting yourself, overextending yourself. Just continue working. Which sounds so pathetic now that I said it, but
But it's a
you're
pride
not-
thing. Like,
Yeah.
you want to show that you're as good as everybody else on that field. And you want to show, that you're as worthy to wear that armor and be out there as anybody else. I've got one story where we were on a practice field. It was my previous group, and we were doing group fighting techniques, and somebody said, aim for the weak one, the girl, she's the weak one. Not because I was actually one of the more seasoned fighters. We had some newbies we were training, and he decided just because I was female that I wasn't worth anything. So I proceeded to just murder them on the field every time he said it. So
Now, please remember, we don't advocate actual homicide.
no,
Let's
no,
keep
there
it
was
in-
not. It was metaphorical homicide.
there was an appropriate fire there, and I just want to make sure it's.
It was metaphorical homicide.
There was no literal
No,
disembowelment.
we went to dinner afterwards. It was fine. We're friends, But it's good to stab your friends every once in a while.
Absolutely. No, we kill each other constantly.
And then
But
we eat dinner together, and it's great.
there is no shame in leaving a fighting field if they are simply targeting you for being
Oh
female.
yeah, for sure.
I know I left my first authorization test in tears thinking I was unworthy of being on the field because they stopped my test because the gentleman was just beating me into the ground.
That's not even.
I was a
test.
beginner
No,
fighter. The purpose was to keep me from fighting.
Yeah.
He did not believe females should fight. And I found that out later. A very nice gentleman took me aside and taught me some things, and I passed the next one.
Oh yeah.
But if you feel you're unsafe, or you can tell when somebody's doing that. There's just an attitude the fighter will have. Just leave the situation.
Yeah.
It's
A
not-
lot of people with that attitude on the field have it off the field as well, and you can see it in how they treat the women in their lives. And like this group,
Yeah.
no problems. I mean, super comfortable. We're all equals.
Mhm.
We all learn from each other. But other groups, I've noticed, you'll go out to dinner and they'll treat their waitress crap.
Yeah.
Or they'll treat, some older lady like crap, and just they'll treat their mothers like crap. Things like that. Don't fight those guys. Just don't fight them. They're gonna hurt you. You're gonna end up hurt. Your pride's gonna hurt, and they're gonna feel smug, and you won't win at all.
And no group is the only game in town.
Oh no, for sure not.
I've known too many who've been like, yo, this is the only way.
If a group's like that, it's a bad group. It's a toxic group, and you're gonna be better for getting out of it and finding a different group.
Yeah, you found the Historical Fencing Guild on YouTube. I am sure there are videos from other groups below us and above us in a search list
Oh yeah.
for all different areas in the country. All you have to do is put in a fighting list, and you'll find somebody.
Or
Start your own.
yeah, or message the page. I'm sure
Yeah.
we can hook you up with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously my book is great. But I will always recommend, and we'll try if we can find a link to that, the Armored Rose.
Yeah, for sure.
If we can find
Yeah.
the link, I want that on here.
Also, no matter how long you have been fighting, it's been proven, and it's referenced in Toby's book, that a male will walk into a fighter practice and immediately start coaching people. Doesn't matter if he's ever held a sword before.
Oh my
I had been fighting for 10 years. A newbie walked into my backyard to practice and started telling me how to fight.
I'm a dude, and that hurts my soul. I can't imagine women.
Wait, they mansplained in your own backyard.
Yes, they did. I walked over and took the sword away from him and went, "No, you are not qualified for this. You have not learned to figure eight. You are not doing this. You're not
holding it right."
No, he wasn't.
It's the worst.
He was not even holding it right. It was awful. And as I've gotten older, I'm more willing to say, no, that's not right. No,
Yeah.
you need to do it this way. But when I first started fighting, I'd be like,
Oh.
okay, they're loud, they're authoritative, you have to listen, and that's not
No.
true. I mean, it works for high school teachers, but once you're not a high school student anymore, you don't have to do that.
Oh no, for sure not. I mean, it doesn't matter how loud or quiet somebody is. Just watch their technique. Watch them during matches. And if you like what you're seeing, go up and talk to them. Ask them what they're doing. And a good fighter's going to share with you. It's
Even if it's just, I don't know how I did that, what did
right.
it look like?
What did you see? Because I kind of got lost in the fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a problem with someone else we know, and I've encountered it a lot with females, where they don't want to be recorded fighting, and I'm not pervering or creepering or anything like that,
Yeah.
but as a tool. How do you feel about that? I mean, do you think it really, it being able to review your fights helps? Do you think it causes,
I don't have the ability to mirror image. So being able to watch the video and see what I'm doing, because if I'm fighting and it's from behind, I can see what I'm doing and tell what I'm doing wrong. Whereas if someone's telling me, oh, look at me, this is how you do it, I have to be next to them. So to me, a video is really helpful.
Yeah. A lot of the time I'll get caught up in the moment, and I've been doing it long enough that some of my reactions are just muscle memory. And somebody will ask me, well, okay, when you parried this, I'll be like, I parried that. Whoa!
Is that inviting?
So yeah, I find it very helpful to see a video, but I understand some people have
absolutely.
have problems with it, whether it's an emotional problem or they have something against it. I would suggest mirrors.
For
A
days.
mirrored practice area, something, even if it's video, have somebody video it on your phone, or old-fashioned camcorder if you're afraid somebody's gonna hack your phone or something. Watch it, delete it. You don't need to keep it, but just review it. So just something that you can see, I think it really helps.
And I know some ladies are worried, oh, the camera adds 10 pounds. Honey, you're wearing armor, blame it on the padding. They're not gonna tell once you have your armor on.
No, and I mean, when you can stab somebody confidently,
Yeah.
they're not going to make fun of you for your weight. Nobody's smart would anyway.
Yeah.
And most dudes are into chicks that can fight, so.
If nothing else, they're hoping it's leather,
Yeah, right? Either that or you'll go up and ask them to help you, get out of it. things like that.
Competency is just attractive. Let's just
It
put it
is.
that way. I'll put it right there. Let's see. What else? And do you guys have anything else you want to discuss this week? Is this something you guys want to do, weekly, monthly, sit down?
Well, if you get some questions, I'm sure we
Oh,
can
yeah.
sit down and answer.
So
For sure.
what they're saying is that
Send
comment,
us your questions.
Yes, we can answer stuff.
and that'll give us time to research what we don't know we can fix.
Yeah.
Either that or we can at least go, we don't know.
Yeah, and if there's records of questions, we can go out and do a fighting video and show how to do
Oh
it.
yeah.
Okay.
We can show you how we move and
Mhm.
things like that. That's no
I would be
problem.
happy to clear this space out for practical demonstrations. So, anything? Oh, styles for women. This is one thing I hear a lot.
Mhm.
Before we close out, I hear this, well, women should fight this, versus men should fight this. I have my opinion, you guys know it pretty well, but I want people to hear yours as again, I want this to be a sport for women, so.
I prefer spear and glaive. I think you should fight whatever you're comfortable with and that can get you within hitting distance of your opponent. I'm 5'4". I'm rather short-armed. I like my glaive because I can reach out and hit somebody. That was always the biggest deal with it, was I'm 7.5 feet, I can touch the opponent.
And on the flip side, I'm 5'8", and I've got long arms that they come out. But
Telescope.
and this is a guy's sweatshirt, so if that gives you an idea. But I like sword and buckler. That's my bread and butter. I also like short little double daggers. But like she said, it's what you're comfortable with, even if it's style-wise. Well, I want to do heavy concussive, throw my opponent across the list field. If you're comfortable doing it and you can do it, have fun, throw away. Or if you're like, I am an itty-bitty rock, and I am good at being an itty-bitty little rock, and I stab you in the toe. Stab him in the toe! You're good at it, do it! Fight however works for you. It's fight for
Try
you.
out all
Yeah.
different styles.
Yeah, for sure. Don't assume you have to fight a certain way because you're female, because you're a certain weight, because you're a certain height, because whatever. Just try them out, see what works, and then mash them all together if you have to. That's usually the more fun styles anyway.
Fencing, rapier and axe is a beautiful
Oh,
thing.
man, that's beautiful.
If that's as opposed in styles I can think of, and I know you have way too much fun doing it when you do it. Or axe
Dagger
and
and buckler.
Oh, dagger and buckler. Ruthless.
Oh,
Ruthless.
yeah. But it's so much fun. So yeah, just whatever you can do, whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Okay. All right, we're at 28 minutes, so we're almost to the half-hour line, which is where I wanted to kind of cut that off. Any other comments you want to put on this video?
Not off the top of my head.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
All right.